Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So you guys will definitely remember this January 6th defendant, 44-year-old Nebraska resident Brandon Straka. He is a gay man and a self-described former liberal who founded the Walk Away campaign in 2018. The campaign was Straka's way of trying to lure Democrats away from the party and to get them to vote for Trump for some reason. So Straka, you could say, is like the gay white male version of Candace Owens. And the campaign stated, quote, "We are walking away from the lies, the false narrative, the fake news, the race baiting, the victim narrative, the violence, the vandalism, the vitriol. We are walking away from a party driven by hate. We are walking toward patriotism and a new unified America." Oh, Brandon, bless your heart. I think that's what they refer to as out of the frying pan and into the fire, or something about a pot calling a kettle black, something like that. He's clearly never bothered to look at the Republican Party's anti-LGBTQ platform or to listen to any of their hateful, bigoted rhetoric. I mean, you couldn't and then align yourself with that party. And who wants to tell him about the Proud Boys and what they do at LGBTQ marches? And what's really hilarious is that Straka put out a plea on social media for more males to send him messages of support. It was written about in an LGBTQ news outlet, and apparently he was receiving a lot of messages of support from female Republicans, but he wasn't getting any messages from men. I mean, who wants to tell him what that's all about? As one of my gay friends always says, he's pretty, but he's not so smart. So anyway, Straka spoke at a pre-insurrection event on January 5th. In that speech, Straka encouraged attendees to, quote, fight back. And he told them, quote, "We are sending a message to the Democrats. We are not going away. You've got a problem." And on January 6th, Straka was scheduled to speak following Trump's rally. So he's a very influential figure. So he was seen on the Capitol steps that day on January 6th. He was heard in the video saying, quote, we're going in, the people are going in." And then he was heard yelling for others to go, and he was encouraging them to steal an officer's shield. So Straka was heard yelling, quote, "Take it away from him and take it, take it." Then later that same evening, as the authorities were trying to clear the Capitol grounds, they were trying to enforce the curfew and get the Capitol back under control, Straka posted on Twitter and he wrote, quote, "Patriots at the Capitol, hold the line," all in caps, with a bunch of exclamation points. He also shot down the idea that Antifa was responsible for the attack. So I don't know how many more of their own people need to say it before they start believing it, that it wasn't Antifa. You're Antifa. You people were Antifa. So on Twitter, Straka wrote in a post, quote, "It was not Antifa at the Capitol. It was freedom-loving patriots who were desperate to fight for the final hope of our republic." Then in a video the following day, January 7th, Straka said that he saw, quote, "nothing being broken and nobody committing any acts of violence or vandalism." Really? I guess forcibly taking a shield from an officer, that's not violence in his warped mind. And this guy has had all the Kool-Aid. He has had every color, every flavor, because at the height of the pandemic, June of 2020, he apparently refused to wear a mask on a flight. And so he was banned from flying on American Airlines. So Straka was arrested on January 25th for what he did at the Capitol. He was charged with civil disorder, entering restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct. And the charge with the most teeth, of course, is the civil disorder charge. That carries a maximum prison sentence of up to 5 years. The others are just nothing misdemeanors. So Straka accepted a plea deal in October. He pleaded guilty to the lesser misdemeanor of disorderly conduct in a Capitol building or grounds that, carries up to 6 months in prison. And as part of his plea deal, Straka agreed to cooperate with the feds. He said, okay, yeah, I'll tell you anything I know, I'll give you access to anything, because one of the things they wanted was access to Straka's private social media messages, which I would imagine contain a goldmine of information. So it appears that Straka complied with their request, and, it's got to make some people very nervous, but the government recommended that he be sentenced to only 4 months of home detention and then 3 years of probation. Well, at his sentencing hearing, Straka told the judge that his walk-away campaign isn't about politics. It's about love. Really? Really? Is that why it encourages people to walk away from a political party? It's not, hey, love each other. No, it's the walk away campaign. Really? This guy. So he also said that he apologizes to, quote, all the people in America, even to those who hate my guts. We don't hate you, Brandon. We feel sorry for you that you are so insecure that you would align yourself with people who do hate you just to try to win them over because you just don't feel loved. You just don't feel accepted. That's the truth. So anyway, he apologized to the police, and then also more specifically, he apologized to the officer whose shield he was encouraging the mob to steal. In addition, he issued an apology to Congress members, and he said that the consequences of his actions have been, quote, monumentally devastating. And he's trying to now raise funds for the Refund the Police and Back the Blue programs or something like that. I mean, I'm sorry, but when were the police defunded? Police were not defunded. Why would we need to refund them? No. So fortunately for this stable genius, he drew the long straw. The judge overseeing his case was Trump appointee and Dabney Friedrich. Although I will admit, I will give her some credit, I was pleasantly surprised by some of her comments in the court. The judge pointed out that Straka was still making excuses. He was still trying to distance himself from the Capitol attack. And she noted that on the night of January 6th, that he was complaining that he wanted to go on TV to condone the attack, and nobody would allow him on their shows. So Friedrich said that the police who fought that day and fought the people who breached the buildings were the true patriots. However, in the end, she basically gave the prosecutors what they wanted. Straka was sentenced to 4 months of home detention, 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service. In addition, he was hit with actually one of the largest fines I've seen so far. That seems to be her forte. That seems to be her go-to move, is to hit them with a larger fine of $5,000. And he's also required to pay the $500 restitution fee that we've seen with other people. So we'll see what happens with this guy. But, if he's gullible to believe that Republicans are the good guys, especially as a gay man, then, I don't know what to say. I mean, I've got a big, beautiful wall to sell him on the southern border. And Brandon, I promise you, it's not going to cost you a dime because Mexico is going to pay for it. Yeah. Anyway, I will let you guys know if I hear any more. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.
Yeah.